Hello, how are you doing? This is Williamson. I'm going to take you through this module on getting comfortable with Airbnb, and we're going to focus on extended stays. So let's go for it. So let's go back in time. We're going to go back to 2007, and we're going to meet Brian, Nathan, and Joe. Now, Brian and Joe had just graduated from design school in Rhode Island, and they moved out to San Francisco to get into the action. And they were very entrepreneurial. Now, one thing they found in San Francisco is that the rent is really, really high, is very expensive, and they were struggling with that coming up with rent each month. They also learned about a design conference coming to town. A number of their peers were coming to town. And the problem was that the hotels were being booked out. There were no room in the hotels. So Brian and Joe came up with the idea, said, we have an extra guest room. Why don't we inflate some air mattresses, let people stay there, and serve them a light breakfast the next morning? So they put together a website really quickly, and they were able to attract 3 strangers, 3 different people, to come stay on those air mattresses and get a bagel the next morning. And when those people left, they knew that they were onto something. They called their little venture Airbnb and Breakfast. So it was 2008, and the Barack Obama, Joe McCain campaign was going, and there was all these conventions, and all these hotels were overbooked, and people didn't have a place to stay. So Brian and Joe, they kept rolling out their website, this whole idea, the matchmaking service of helping people who had extra space get together with people who are looking for a hotel alternative. So their venture grew. And then in 2008, they got some mentoring, and one of their mentors said, let's do something about your name. Let's just take the first parts of your each word and call you guys Airbnb. So that's how that turned out. And now, today, they grew and grew and have a beautiful website. This is what it looks like. Now we're going to walk through this as if we were guests coming to your place, okay? When you go to sign up as a host, I want you to go to step 1, task 1.2, and use that link as a special link that allows Airbnb to defray the cost of the places I stay. Now, I stay at a new place about every month, and I report back to you about the best practices. So it's a way of you helping out the community, helps me help you. Okay, so let's look at this place. Let's use this website, and we're going to do it from the perspective of a guest. I'm going to Milwaukee pretty soon, so let's talk about that. I would type in the feature is where you're going to want to stay, and when you're going to check in, when you're going to check out. I'm going to put in Milwaukee there, and it's going to lead me to this site, this page. And in this page, I can look at experiences, I can look at restaurants, at places to stay, I'm going to put places to stay, and I'm going to modify this to say that I'm just looking for one person, that's just me, and I'm going to make sure my dates are right. Those are my dates, check in, checked out, good. And it's giving me 300 options. That's a lot. And it's also giving me a map over here, which can help me with my decision making and what area of town I want to be in. So I'm going to further modify this. I got to modify 300 is too many things to look at. So I'm going to modify, I'm going to say, only show me places that I can book the entire place. So I'm going to do that. And it dropped it down to 185 places, down from 300. So that's great. Now I'm going to further look at what happens if I do extended stays. All right. I'm going to say, what happens if I start August 13th and go all the way to October 13th? And for one guest, let's see how that is, because that's what we focus on. We focus on extended stays. And I'm going to go and I'm going to filter on, I want a private bathroom. And for that period of time, I need a washer and dryer. Okay. So I'm going to narrow down the field to just people that will work for me. And there's 85 of them. Now, Airbnb is picking this one first, and that's your goal. Your goal is to be calibrated so that Airbnb recommends you first, because this isn't like Craigslist, which just shows you a list. Airbnb actually does the sorting and recommends things to different people looking for a place to stay. So they're recommending this one. Let's take a look at this one. It's called the Vibrant One Bedroom Loft at MKE's Historical Brewing District. Let's look at that. Well, here's our listing. It's presented. It looks nice. Let's take a look at the first part of this. It has this collage up here of 5 pictures. And you can see this guy has his kitchen shown twice. So he's not paying attention to his first 5. You want to make the first 5 your best pictures, and you want them to be assortment, okay? Put assortment of the features. So that's tip number 1 is to make the first 5 pictures count. He did a nice job, but he should not show the same thing twice. Okay? Now this is the difference between someone who's an Airbnb business owner and someone who's just a host. Okay? The people who are a business owner, they're going after every little detail to separate themselves from the host and to make sure that they have a good subliminal marketing as well as a nice listing. Okay? Because you want to win your bookings. You're at war when you're a business owner. You're not playing a game like you are a host. Okay, anyway, tip number 1, make your first 5 pictures count. Let's take a look at his pictures. This doesn't look bad. He's got a nice angle shot, which is one of the tips that we talk about in marketing to make a good photo. I don't particularly like these chords being shown. That just takes away from the picture a lot. Okay, but he's got natural lighting. He's doing some good things. All right, so let's look over here, his captions. It says right there, it says living room, TV with a Roku and Netflix. Now, there is no TV shown here. So I don't know why he put that in there. He definitely should talk about the sofa. Okay, and tell me about how comfortable the sofa is. That would be appropriate for this caption. Again, this person who has this listing, he's more on the amateur side than the professional side. These little details are what matter because you don't want to miss an opportunity to sell your listing. So tip number 2 is know the benefit of each feature before taking the picture. That's really important that you stage things correctly and you know why you're taking the picture and what benefit you're trying to show off. Here's a second picture. It's a little bit better. It says walking distance to the form. Now that's a benefit. Okay, so that's what I want. That's what should be in these captions. You should be talking about the feature that you're trying to show off, this form, stadium, and the benefit. So that's tip number 3 is state the benefit of each feature in the caption section. And this is what I tell most people as I'm doing reviews. You don't ever miss the opportunity to sell. Okay, this is a little subliminal thing that people looking through your listing will notice. It's really important. You're at war. You don't want to give up easy points. Okay, back to his listing now. We're scrolled down a little bit under his pictures and we're looking. He's got a headline that speaks to people who know about the brewery district. And you can see what he's offering, an entire apartment right there. And look at this right here. Airbnb is saying that this place has all the things needed for long stays. That means hair dryer and all those things. There's a list in the resource section for these things. It's in step number 1. You want to pay attention to the attachments. It has a list of things that you want to have so that you get this, what Airbnb says is equipped for long stays. Because that's what our emphasis is extended stays. So tip number 4 is you want a headline and descriptions that speak to the audience that you're trying to attract. And there's tips for that in step 4 because marketing is very important. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more and I'm going to see that they show amenities right there in that section there. Again, they show us the entire place. They talk about the sleeping arrangements and all these details here, like there's a couch and an air mattress, so that some additional sleeping options for you. I'm going to scroll down further. There's a calendar here, shows availability. Now these are the dates that I selected right over here. This 13th through August 13th through October 13th. It kind of scrolls over there. But what's important to know is that if you have accepted a booking on September 18th, then Airbnb would not have shown your listing to me. If you would accept it one day in the middle of this calendar, then you eliminate yourself from extended stay options. So you got to know how to manage your calendar when you start going for extended stays. You want to transition from doing short stays and collecting a lot of reviews, which you want good reviews, and then transitioning to longer period of stays. You have to manage your calendar correctly so that you don't self-eliminate. And tips for that are in step number 5. I want you to go and check out that when you get to it. Calendar management. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. You see this guy's got 80 5-star reviews, which is excellent. And that's the reason why Airbnb is offering that first. That's why he's got it ranked number 1. Okay, so that's important. You can do a lot to still compete against them by just differentiating yourself. Like he may not have parking. You may say that that you have parking, and someone looking for parking on an extended stay who needs a washer and dryer will find you ranked number 1 instead of this guy. Okay, so also down here you see that people have left reviews for this host, and the host is responding back, which is a best practice. Respond back to every single review. That's really important. That shows that they're engaged. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further, and it's going to show the neighborhood. It's going to show where your listing is, along with some best features. You see there's a Milwaukee School of Engineering. You see there's the public museum and some other things close to the freeway. Those are really important things, so that's going to be shown. Okay, let's recap now. That was kind of an overview of, as a guest, how people come in and use Airbnb, which is a matchmaking service. It matches people looking for a hotel alternative with your place. Okay, that's a furnished rental. Now, if you're going to sign up as a host, I want you to go and use this link here. You can even stop the recording and make sure you write this down. This is the link you want to use because this is the link that allows Airbnb to know that I recommended you and discount my stays, so that it helps me when I'm staying at different places each month report out to you what the best practices are so you know what's going on. So tip number 1 is to make the first 5 pictures in your list of pictures count. Make sure they're sorted so that they show off your place and they're a nice variety. And remember, Airbnb is going to show the upper part of that picture. Tip number 2 is to know the benefit of each feature before you're taking the picture. That's really important. You want to make a list. You want to be very deliberate and very focused about picture taking to make sure you're selling in your pictures. And then state the benefit of each feature in the captions. Every caption should have its own feature benefit statement, and there should be at least 21 of them. Okay, and they should be inside your unit, these pictures, and they should be outside of what's going on in the neighborhood as well. You want to show the whole experience off. Okay, it's really important. 21 pictures at least. Tip number 4 is look into step number 4 for tips on writing headlines and descriptions, because that's really important. You want to speak to a certain group. This is how you target a niche, is by your headline. And as people are scrolling through, they're going to see your first picture and your headline are the most important thing. So you want to write that headline, you want to rewrite it, you want to test it, and you want to rewrite it again as you learn more about why people are coming to town. Tip number 5 is manage your calendar for extended stays. Okay, you want to start off with some short stays when you're using Airbnb to collect those reviews. Okay, and then you want to transition to longer stays. So that's really important. You prime the pump and then make sure that calendar, or actually the minimum stays that you'll accept, the minimum days of stays are over 30, so that you can start doing month-long stays. All right, that's it for this module. I want you to keep going down this journey, and if you have any questions, go ahead, reach out to me.